Welcome back to my next playthrough series. This time we're going back to Thunderstone Quest. This is part 3 of A Mirror in the Dark, and it's titled Along Came a Spider, and it's the end of the series. So each of the chapters in this game are basically 3 parts. This is the 3rd part. I'll put a link in the description to part 1 and part 2, which I've already done on my channel a while ago. So if you want to go back and watch part 1 and part 2, this is going to be part 3. And so we're going to be, I'm picking a different prestige class. Again, we're doing Barricades mode solo. So it's how I play this game. Of course, I'm playing it solo. That's why we're doing it that way. And yeah, so we're going to be this time using the Bloodhound, which has mostly to do with gold accumulation and manipulating gold to do different things. So that's kind of, I think I played the Town Guard the first time, and the second time, I forget what it was. You'll see it if you watch the other playthroughs that I'll link in the description. Alright, we're going to first take a look at all of the cards we can purchase. And again, solo mode, you're supposed to only have, I think, 2 heroes and limited number of supplies. I don't do it that way. I just set it up as if I'm playing a multiplayer game. It gives me more choice. When you're playing it this way with Barricades mode, you have a limited time anyway. And so what will happen is you're just not going to be able to buy everything anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. I'm not really going to go over the rules per se, because I've played this a couple of times before, so we'll just kind of get into it, but we're going to take a look at all of the cards we can purchase here, and then we will get into some gameplay and see how it goes. Once again, we're trying to take on Smorga for the final time, defeat her. She's like a spider queen, so we'll see how that goes. So let's take a look at all the cards we can purchase. Alright, so how I'm going to do it, I'll just hold the cards up here. So the first thing we can purchase is the Amulet of Infravision. It's going to cost us 5 gold down at the bottom right corner. It gives us 1 light, and it gives us 2 gold if we get it into our hand to purchase stuff. What does it do? If you have a rogue, you can draw a card, and it gives somebody +2, forget what that's called. It allows you to wield weapons and such. Alright, so the next thing we have is a Tome of Knowledge. Again, give us gold if we got it. Cost us 5. And these are for point values at the end of the game, so we will just ignore those. Destroy this card to level up a hero paying 0. That's actually really good, because heroes cost their current level +2 experience. And then we have the short bow. We've seen this before, costing 5. You get +1 damage for elves and -1 requirement if you're a rogue, giving us 2 gold. Costing 4 to wield it, doing 2 damage, plus bonuses at the bottom. Then we have a Maul doing 4 damage, but it costs you 8 to wield it, giving it gold, costing 8 to purchase. This is a very expensive weapon. -2 for dwarves, so dwarves only need a 6 to wield this. Alright, we have a hammer, a little bit less damage, +2 damage, 4 to wield it, just no special abilities, costing 3, and it gives you a gold when you get it in your hand. Alright, we have a spell. We have Moonlight. It's an elemental spell. +1 light for each wizard you have. So, and it does 1 magic damage. So we have magic damage and regular damage in the game, costing 3. And then we have Magic Missile. It's a little bit of a funky card. It costs you 7. It's an arcane spell, and that you'll see that on some of the character cards here. So this is, the magic damage is equal to the combined level of all your wizards. So if you have high level wizards, then this is going to add up quite a lot of damage. And then we have the Fireball, one of my favorites. 3 magic damage, costing 8 though, giving us a light. On to our heroes. We have Pylorian. She's a human wizard hero. +1 magic damage if you have a spell. So instead of doing 1, if she has a spell, she'll do 2 damage. And she only has 2 requirement to wield things, +1 level if it's an arcane spell. So you saw the Magic Missile. She would get +1 level for firing off the Magic Missile. So if she is combined with Magic Missile, it's actually really good. Then we have Scythian. She's a halfling rogue wizard hero. So all kinds of combinations. 2 magic damage for her and a gold if you have her. And we've seen this guy before. Stormhand, dwarf fighter hero. He has got 4 for strength, I guess. It does 2 damage, costing 7. Stormhand's edge weapons have -1 requirement, so we'll see that possibly happening. And then we have Silverhelm. And of course, some of these cards have dungeon abilities, some have village abilities. If they have both, you can only use either in the village or the dungeon. And we'll see that as we play the game. Costing 6. doing only 1 damage, 4. So he's kind of our healer because it says you may give another hero +2, I guess, strength. Forget exactly what that's called, but let's see, wield weapons. And it says you may heal a wound, so he's kind of our healer. And that's it for all the cards we're going to be playing with. So we're going to go over to our player mat. There's a player mat for the game. We're going to shuffle up our deck and we're going to draw our first initial hand of cards. Alright, so here we have our player mat where we lay everything out. It's actually pretty good. It tells you what you can do in the village. It tells you what you can do in the dungeon. You have your spoils and your things. So there's like iron rations, there's lanterns, and there's healing potions. And this is our deck of starter cards. So we'll give that a quick shuffle. And then, as you can see, depends on our hit points as to how many cards we draw at the end of our turn. So the more damage you get, the less cards you'll draw. So you start out at 6, you go down to 5, 4, 3. And yeah, the less cards you draw, of course, the less chance you're going to have of doing anything spectacular on your turn. Alright, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 cards. And let's see what we get for our starting hand. We have an adventurer. We have our 2 Thunderstone staves, which gives us 2 light. Excellent. We have Bree. She lets us re-roll a die, but we don't have Jobo with us, so if we do re-roll the die, we have to discard her. And we have a total of 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 gold to start with. It costs 10 to build a barricade. Barricades bounce incoming damage from marauders. We'll see that happen here. And when you use a dagger, when you go down to the dungeon, you can actually draw a card. So not a bad starting hand. So that's where we sit. All right, I think we're going to get into some gameplay. So let's get to it. All right, lots of moving parts in this game. I mean a lot. So I'll try and keep things under control. So when you're playing solo barricades mode, you can go to the village and then you can go to the dungeon. So it's kind of a 2-step process here. So we're starting off in the town. What can you do, or the village? What can we do in the village? We can always level up a character, heal 1 wound, purchase 1 card. Those are the 3 things you can do at all the time, and then you can go to one of the specific locations. You go to the temple, shop of arcane wonders, you can go to the guild's quarters, you can go to the marketplace, you can go to the bazaar. I always like to go to the marketplace because it allows us to purchase 1, or to draw 1 extra card, which is always beneficial. And I forgot to get myself out a little miniature that's going to represent our bloodhound. So I'm going to do that, and then we're going to decide where we're going to go in town. Okay, so I got out this little guy here. These are the old D&D miniatures. I forget what year. Quite a while ago. Oh, 2006 Wizards of the Coast. So we're going to use this guy as the bloodhound. Again, these are D&D minis. Minis do not come with this game, but you don't need them. It's totally irrelevant. Well, actually, sorry, I should rephrase. You do get miniatures in the game. They're not painted, though, so I'm going to use the painted one. So we're going to go to the marketplace. What do we do? Draw 1 card. Excellent. So we get to draw a card. So that's just going to add to our hand, which is nice, and we draw another adventurer. So basically, what we can do now is we can purchase 1 card, or we can level up a character. How you level up a character is you take their basic level plus 2 experience. We have no experience because it's the first turn of the game, so we're not going to be able to actually level up a character right now. And this is dungeon abilities. If you have a wound, draw a card. If you have 4 or fewer hit points, you can heal a wound. So we're not going to be doing that, obviously, as well. So we're just going to look at our gold value. We've got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 gold to spend to purchase 1 card. And I really almost want to just get a fireball. Or we can get a hero as well for 8 gold. Oh boy, I'm not sure. We can purchase any one of them. I wonder if we should get Stormhand. He's got some pretty good damage ability just to start with. Or do we want to buy maybe even a Tome of Knowledge? Or the AMITD Vision? I don't know. Or I always like the Fireball. 8 is a lot. 8 is a lot of gold. Let me think here what I want to do. I'll come right back. Alright, I think we're going to spend 7 of our gold, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get Stormhand. He's a good fighter to start off with, gives us damage for the early rounds. Dwarf fighter hero, and he has -1 for edged weapons. Of course, we don't even have any edged weapons except the daggers that we start with. So he's going to go in our discard pile. We have 1 gold remaining. I got to remember that because it may play a part after we go to the dungeon. So we can heal a wound. We don't have any. We can purchase a card. We did. And we can, purchase a card. level up a hero. We can't level up a hero because we don't have enough experience. So off to the dungeon we are going. So we have our adventurers. Our adventurers are going to go. We can always go, and we'll take a look at the dungeon here in a second when we get there. And I completely forgot, because it's been so long, the first thing you have to do is roll the dice at the start of your turn. So we're going to do that right now. We're probably still going to do what we did, so let's go ahead and roll the dice. I apologize, already messing things up. And this is what happens when you haven't played a game in a long time and you're trying to get videos out every day. Alright, so the first thing we do, we're down here at Smorga's Lair. And you can see here we're turn 1. So this is the very first turn of the game, so we put the little marker on 1, which means we're going to roll one of these funky looking 12-sided dice, and then we're going to follow what it says. So let's go ahead and do that, and we roll an attack on the town. I believe that is. Alright, so wow. So we're gonna get one hit to the town already. So let's go back to the town just before we jump down to the dungeon. And we're going to pull a token out of the bag, and one of our locations is going to take some damage. So it would appear Smorga has sabotaged our village already. So we have this funky bag here. It's got 20 tokens in it. There are basically 4 of these 4 spaces you can go to on each location. And you lose the game if all locations are completely destroyed. So let's grab one token out of the bag and see what got hit. The guild's quarter got nailed, so it got an attack. Boom! 1 strike against the guild's quarter. There's still 3 spaces to go there. Not a big deal. That should have happened the very first thing of the turn. Then we do our stuff, which we just did. And now we are going off to the dungeon. And I'm going to use this space down here as I knock the barricades tokens around to place my cards down. Alright, so we're going to the dungeon. So the adventurer basically says the adventurers have no class and thus may level up into any first level hero. We'll see that possibly happen. So if you play an adventurer with the dagger, after buying a card, you may destroy one dagger. So you can start destroying your daggers after you purchase a card. But we're heading to the dungeon. If you're wielded by a 0 hero, draw a card. So the adventurer is a 0 hero, and we play the dagger on him, which means we get to draw a card. And we draw another adventurer. Alright. And then we have to add up our total attack. So far we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 attack and 2 light is really what we have. And I think Bree was just having to do with rerolls. I don't think she had any other abilities. 7 attack, once per turn after dies rolled. Yeah. So we have 7 attack and 2 light. Let's head to the dungeon and see what we can do. And I don't know how well this is going to focus. I hope it's going to focus well, because that makes the playthrough that much more enjoyable. Alright, we have 7 attack, 2 light, and we have the abandoned gate here. Of course, we've seen this from the previous 2 playthroughs. It's the same. It's all the same locations for all 3, but we did change up the monsters a little bit. So we have spiders in level 2. We have the goblins. The goblin elite are in 3, and up at the front is just the little wimpy goblins, but they're not so wimpy. So how this works is we can go deeper and deeper down into the dungeon. It costs you more light, basically, to get down there. It costs 0 light here to get into these 2 locations. And I just put the little D&D minis here because if we get marauders coming into town, I use the minis. This is kind of the wilderness. You can always attack the giant rat. He takes 4 to take him out. And then you can pay nothing to level up a 0 level hero after you defeat the giant rat. This is printed right on the board, so it's not a card. But we also have at the abandoned gate, we have the Goblin Warrior. He's pretty tough because he has 3 armor, takes 4 damage. So he would take basically 7 regular damage to take out, which we have, but you have to have a -1 for each wielded forged weapon, which I believe gives us a benefit. So he will be... We can actually take him out, I'm pretty sure, because it's -1 for each wield. So we have 1 dagger, which would make him a 3, so it would make him 6. We can take him out. We also have 5, 6 for the Goblin Shaman, which we can also take out because we have 7 attack. He has 2 magical resistance, so he would deflect 2 magic attacks, whereas the Goblin Warrior deflects 3 standard attacks. So I guess we can take out either one. The rewards are very similar. You get 3 experience and an iron rations to take out the Goblin Warrior. We would get 3 experience, light, a lantern, and an iron rations, but take 1 wound. So it just depends which one we want to take out. So it doesn't really matter. Let's go ahead and take out this guy because he's got all that resistance to physical attacks. If I can get the card off the board, which, oh, there we go. All right, boom, he's done. So we're going to get 3 experience and an iron rations, and that's all that happens for this particular room. So let's go ahead and do that. So might as well put the stuff here. So we get 3 experience, and we get 1 iron rations for defeating him. And away he goes. He's defeated. All right, Goblin Warrior, nice try. I've taken him out. And I don't know if there's any other, but I keep looking at all these cards because there's so many effects on so many of the cards. This one is just if you have a wound redo. Plus 2 life for Guardian is revealed. Nope. So there's nothing on there, nothing on the basic cards. So those are our spoils. So we're going to take those, we're going to put those on our player mat. So we have an iron rations. Iron rations give you plus 2 strength to wield a weapon. Of course, experience is used for leveling up. All right, and that's going to be the end of that. We don't have Jobo with us. Jobo would have let us level up a character after a fight, but he's not with us. And so that's basically the end of our turn. So we discard our cards. And then we're going to drop 6 new ones. So I think we're going to end off there. So yeah. All right, trying to remember everything. So we're going to drop our hand. Of course, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. So we have a dagger and adventurer. There's Joba. See, Joba has spoils, which happens after the fight. Level up a hero paying a cost. If they were 0, you pay 0. So there we go. So 4. Then we have to shuffle our discard pile, which I'll do on my camera here so I don't knock into things. And yeah, so that will be it. So I didn't move the actual miniature to the dungeon. I probably should have. I didn't replace the monster either, which we will do here in a second. All right, 2 more cards because we're at full health. We didn't take any damage, so boom, another adventurer and another adventurer. So that's going to be our hand when we come back our next episode. So basically we're sitting here with a couple of adventures, a dagger. As far as gold goes, we're down to 3, which is pretty limited, but that's going to be our hand for the next time. All right, let's go back to the dungeon and replace the monster for that room, and then we have one final thing to do at the end of the turn. All right, so we need to replace the monster at the abandoned gate. So this is the shuffled up deck of goblins, and we get a goblin potion tester. If you move through here, you take a wound. So that's what the little triangle exclamation point is. And when you defeat him, you get a healing potion. He's worth 2 experience, and he is a level 1 monster. So boom, in he goes there to the abandoned gate. One final thing to do at the end of the episode. The one final thing you're supposed to do at the end of the episode is you move the turn marker over here to 2. So you can see next time when we come back, we'll be rolling just 1 die again. Once you get to turn 4, start of turn 4, you're going to be rolling 2 and then 3. And once you go from 8 to 9, you flip this card over, which means Smorga has been revealed. And then you can attack her directly. The name of the game is to basically defeat her, which is not easy, before basically the time runs out or your town gets destroyed. All right, we're going to zoom up. We're going to wrap up our episode for today. Okay, like I said, I'm going to try and get an episode up every day. I cannot guarantee I will do my very best to do that. I'm getting some time crunch at the moment with extra work and stuff that's going on outside of work. So there's that. Did we get to level up? Yes, I do believe we got to level up because we defeated a level 1 monster with and we had 2 light. Almost forgot that. We are able to level up our Bloodhound. See, the things you can easily forget in this game because there's quite a few moving parts. So we're going to take our little token. It costs 0 to go to rank 1. So now we are rank 1 Bloodhound. What does that mean? It says we can pay 3 gold to get 2 attack, physical attack, or 1 light, or we can pay 5 gold to get both. So that's actually something to keep in mind when we move forward. We do now have that ability for our Bloodhound. All right, I hope I haven't made any errors. Please check the comments when I do my playthroughs because a lot of people find errors in my playthroughs and we get them corrected there. So also take a look at the comments. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, your subscriptions, and your likes. Really helps out my channel. This is Thunderstone Quest, A Mirror in the Dark, Part 3, the finale. Can we beat Smorga for good? Or are we going to lose? I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. We'll find out. So thanks so much, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, like I said, I'm trying to get these out every day. I may have to miss a day or two. I hope I don't have to, but we'll see. So thanks so much, and we'll see you soon. And one little correction here at the end of the episode. Of course, what would an episode be without a correction? I only had 6 attack. I don't know where I came up with 7, but we had 6 attack. However, we could still take this guy out because he's 4 plus 3 armor resistance, so he's 7, but we had an edged weapon, which would give him -1 to this, would be 6. So we can still take him out at 6 attack. I said 7 attack. I don't know, I counted Bree as 2 attack, but she only has 1. Anyway, that's the correction. We're still good to go. Everything's on track. I'll see you tomorrow for the continuation.